Have you ever looked up at the moon and wondered, what if everything we think we know about it is wrong? Welcome to another spellbinding episode of Xtreme Mystery Files. I'm Raven Witchwood, your red-headed alchemist guide to the unknown. Today, we're shooting for the stars, or rather, the moon. Prepare to have your mind blown, because we're diving into the mysterious theory of the hollow moon. Yes, you heard that right, the hollow moon. First things first, let's talk moon basics. This silvery satellite has been an object of fascination for humans since, well, forever. Myths, poems, and songs, you name it, the moon's got it. But in 1969, something truly odd happened that reignited curiosity. During Apollo 12, NASA launched an experiment by crashing part of the spacecraft into the moon. What they didn't expect was how the moon responded. It rang like a bell. Yes, like a bell. For over an hour. Now, if you're like me, your immediate thought is, wait, what? Bells usually ring because they're hollow. And that's where the hollow moon theory takes off. Some speculate that the moon isn't a natural celestial body at all. Rather, it's an ancient, possibly alien-made structure. I know it sounds out of this world, literally. But let's unpack this, step by step. The hollow moon theory didn't just pop out of thin air. It was partially inspired by another idea, the moon's density problem. Scientists discovered that the moon is less dense than Earth. If it were a solid object, its density wouldn't make much sense. Add this to the bell ringing incident, and conspiracy theorists entered hyperdrive. What if the moon isn't solid rock? What if it's a shell encasing something else? Among the most famous proponents of this idea are Soviet scientists Mikhail Vasin and Alexander Shcherbakov. In 1970, they published a paper suggesting the moon is a massive spaceship, used either for observation or perhaps even a planetary refuge. They argued that many of the moon's craters are unusually shallow, almost as if something impenetrable lies beneath the surface. Think titanium plating, but on an interstellar scale. Why cover a spaceship in gold when titanium will do the job? But science demands skepticism. So, what are the counter-arguments? For starters, those who study the moon, think geologists and astrophysicists, point to natural explanations. That ringing bell phenomenon? Scientists attribute it to something called seismic reverberation. The moon doesn't have Earth-like tectonic plates, but its structure can cause sound waves to echo longer than they would on Earth. Cool, but does this entirely squash the possibility of a hollow core? Not necessarily. Oh, and let's not ignore another glaring mystery: the moon's orbit. It's almost unnervingly perfect. Our celestial neighbor appears to have been placed in such a way that it lines up beautifully to create solar eclipses, like clockwork. Some say this orbit is evidence of artificial positioning, natural coincidence, or by design. I'll let you ponder that. Here's where it gets even stranger. Ancient myths often describe the moon as something that appeared rather than was always there. Cultures like the Zulu in Africa and other indigenous groups have stories about a time before the moon. Could it have been brought into place? And if so, by who or what? Now, before you grab your telescope to look for alien weld marks, let's reel it in and ask a very important question. Even if the moon was engineered, what would be the purpose? Is it an ancient ark? An observatory? Or maybe a warning? So, is the hollow moon theory pure lunacy, or a fascinating clue to secrets we've only begun to uncover? Like any great mystery, the answer might be murky. But the fun is in peeling back the layers, isn't it? If you're as obsessed with the unknown as I am, leave a comment about what you think is going on up there. And if you liked this episode, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, keep seeking, keep wondering, and remember, the universe is far stranger than we imagine. Signing off from Xtreme Mystery Files, I'm Raven Witchwood. Stay curious.